Imagine the biggest wave you've ever seen. Not gentle, not welcoming, the kind of wave that makes everything in you go, wait. Now imagine surfing that wave is the ultimate achievement you're here to grow into. This is the 10th house, and today I want to talk about what it actually is. It's not just career, and why the hardest parts of your journey are not punishment, it's preparation. Let's start with what the 10th house is not. It is not simply your job. I think the word career has made the 10th house seem small, like it's just what you do for money. And yes, that is part of it, but that is the part on the surface. The 10th house sits at the very top of your chart. It's also called the midheaven. It's what's most visible, what rises above everything else. And that position tells us something important. The 10th house is about your public role, your visible contribution, and the authority you grow into, the responsibility you become capable of holding in front of other people. It's not just what you do, it's who you become in doing it. And I think there are a lot of people carrying their 10th house calling right now who are holding back. And I want to talk about why that happens and what it's really about. But first, we need to talk about Saturn. The 10th house is connected to Capricorn and to Saturn. And Saturn has a reputation. Hard lessons, long timelines, the sense that nothing comes easy, that just when you think you're ready, life says, not yet. I used to experience Saturn that way, like a wall, like being tested for the sake of being tested. But I've come to understand it very differently. Saturn prepares you for the biggest wave you will surf in your life. And a wave like that, it does not care how much you want to ride it. It does not care how badly you feel ready. It only cares about one thing. Are you actually strong enough? Do you have the skills, the steadiness? Can you stay on your feet when it gets heavy? And can you hold your breath long enough if there's a big wipeout? Because if you go too early, if you drop in before you're ready, you do not ride the wave. The wave takes you. And that is what Saturn is doing. It's not keeping you from the wave. It's making sure you can actually ride it. Saturn is strict because it knows your potential. It knows what you're capable of. It knows the level of visibility, responsibility, and impact that is waiting for you. And it will not let you step into that before you have developed what it takes to hold it. That is not cruelty. That is actually care. If you take shortcuts with Saturn, like for instance, if you have a friend with a scooter and he tows you in on a big wave and you fall and you haven't done the training necessary to actually hold such a big experience and responsibility and all eyes are on you, some people might have to come and save you and risk their own lives because you didn't do your job properly. So the consequences with Saturn are huge. That's why it is so strict and it tests you again and again and again. Because it knows you're capable. But it also knows it takes discipline. It takes time to become ready. And here is the part I think is most important and most overlooked. One of the things I've noticed, both in charts and in my own life, is that the 10th house creates fear. Not just fear of failure, but fear of visibility, fear of being seen. And I think that is interesting Because we would expect people to want success, to want recognition, authority, to be known for what they do. But the 10th house does not just offer you success. It offers you responsibility, visibility, accountability, the weight of being looked up to. And that is a very different thing to say yes to. Some people hold back from their 10th house calling because they do not think they are good enough yet. They're afraid of what other people might think. They can feel how much this will ask of them. And that feels overwhelming. All of those feelings are real, and all of them are part of the process. Because the 10th house doesn't ask whether you feel ready. It asks whether you're willing to become ready. The hesitation you might feel around your public calling, this is not a sign you're wrong for it. This is a sign it's real. The things that asks the most of us is exactly the ones we are most likely to step back from. Not because we cannot do them, but because some part of us knows this will change me. And it will. And that is the point. The 10th house often activates later in life. And there is a reason for that. When you're young, the 10th house might feel like ambition, a pull towards something, a sense that you are here for more than you're currently doing. But the full weight of it, the real thing, tends to come after the work is done. After Saturn has built something in you and tested you and made sure you did it. There's a reason why we don't hand over a big wave to a beginner. And there's a reason why you earn the right to paddle out that far. But, and this is important for entrepreneurs, feeling called before you're ready is not the same as being wrong. Many people who carry a strong 10th house calling begin their public work early. They start the business, put out the content. They begin building the thing while still in the training. And that is actually the right move. You do not wait until you're fully ready. You do the work while you're becoming ready. The calling comes first, the readiness follows, if you show up for it. And Saturn will absolutely test whether you mean it. And you will hit delays, you will hit moments where nothing works, you will probably question yourself more than once, but that is not the universe telling you no. This is Saturn doing its job, strengthening you, preparing you, refining you, making sure that the person that eventually holds that role is someone who can actually stand in it. Now, every 10th house is different because the sign on your midheaven shapes what that public role feels and looks like. I want to give you just a few examples, not all 12 signs, but just enough to help you feel into your own. Aries Midheaven. The public role here is about courage, being first, pioneering, stepping into territory no one else has mapped yet. Saturn training for the Aries MC is learning to lead without needing control, learning when to move and when to hold. Scorpio Midheaven. The public role here is transformation, being someone who goes into the depths, who dares to see what others look away from, and brings something true back out. The Saturn training here is about trust, learning to be seen in your intensity without hiding or weaponizing it. Virgo Midheaven. This is actually my MC, so I'll speak of this from the inside. For a long time, I thought Virgo MC was about having the most polished system, the perfect answer, the most useful, precise thing to say. But what I've come to understand is that the public role of Virgo Midheaven is clarity, seeing what is actually there, not what people want to see. Being useful not by having all the answers, but by asking the right questions. Saturn's training for this placement is learning to trust that your discernment is an offering, not a judgment. Aquarius Midheaven. The public role here is vision, being ahead of the curve, building things that serve the collective, holding a perspective that most people are not even ready to see yet. The Saturn training here is about staying grounded in the vision, even when the world is not yet catching up. Whatever sign sits on your midheaven, that is the texture of your public role. Saturn is not changing your direction. It's making sure you're actually strong enough to go there. I want to leave you with this. The reason the 10th house is hard and Saturn can feel relentless is not because life is against you. It's because life knows what you're here for. The wave does not build itself to drown you. It builds itself because something in the ocean needs to move. And you, the person watching this, you're not here to watch that wave from the shore. You are here to ride it, but not before you're ready. Not by skipping the training. Not by pretending the preparation is the problem. The preparation is the gift. Success in the 10th house is not about reaching the top. It's about becoming someone who can hold what comes with being there. That is what Saturn is building in you. That is what the 10th house is asking for. Not perfection, not fearlessness, just a willingness to keep becoming until the role and the person are the same thing, to become a legend. I hope this made you see the 10th house a little differently. If it did, share it with someone who is in the middle of their Saturn training right now. They probably need to hear this. And if you have a question about your own midheaven, drop it in the comments. I read every single one. I'll see you in the next one.